We are live, supposedly.
Cousin Terry.
Hey, Terry, can you hear us?
Yay!
Hey.
The reason for the season.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Let's navigate to the chat.
Yeah.
Hi,
Štěpánka. Our designer extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
Hello, Anya. Anya, speaking of socks, I saw a picture of your socks that you're working on. They are so intricate.
They are.
It was crazy.
Anya worthy.
Anya worthy, exactly. Sure. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, ready to kick off another intricate sock pattern.
Several people typing.
I'm assuming someone would have told us already.
I know. Wouldn't they be like tripping over
themselves?
What
I want to see.
Yeah, we're just looking for that button.
Settings? No.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Just making sure
video,
that didn't
screen
do anything.
Share. Yeah,
we just really were promised that we could do this from separate locations today, but instead I forced Allison to come to my house. And
she got here 30 seconds ago.
She did.
So I followed directions.
Not want to be here, but she did it for you.
That's it. And now I'm fucking hitting the road.
She's out of here. She's out of here.
Yes. 2 people live at the same time.
Yes, this is such high-tech this is hologram technology. Wow. Doesn't it look amazing?
Yeah.
But we were promised by Apple Care. No, it's not Apple's fault. It's Mighty Network and it's Stinkeroo. But enough about our technical, because you can hear us and we're all here. Yeah. And Štěpánka is joining us live from the Czech Republic, which is like incredible.
Yes.
That math is mathing. So way to figure out.
I think it's 7 p.m. her time.
Perfect. Well,
I have been doing the conversion because Shane has been in Oslo.
That is right.
So I've been figuring out where he is in the world. So I think it's 7 hours.
That sounds right.
I think it's 7 hours.
So that's an easy.
Meg cast on this morning in a work meeting. That is perfect. Laura has cast on.
I'm doing the original. I'm with the OG. You did it because Štěpánka, see, you're going to have to retire your go-to saying of you're not a mathematician because you figured it out. So.
Well, yeah, eventually when you say you're not something long enough, you just become it. That's science. That's science. So welcome to the Briza sock knit along cast on party. Somehow Laura McDougall. It is March 1st.
Yeah, unbelievable. That is unbelievable for so many reasons. But I'm just going to lean on the fact that February is a short month, and that's where I'm going to go with that. But yes, it is kickoff date all month long, all month.
Yes,
all month of March. We're going to be knitting the Briza
socks, designed by our friend Štěpánka, who is lovely and we love, and she designed this Briza sock pattern for the Lane magazine, and we have been since Friday shooting good vibes into the ether because her brother, oh my God, I almost pulled his name, Štěpánka.
Oh, good for you. I've never known your brother's name, Štěpánka. I'm so sorry.
If he was a dog, I would remember it. So Štěpánka's brother has laid this out beautifully. Andre, yes. Probably.
Listen, you know more about Czech pronunciation than I do. I went there for 48 hours, so no idea.
So we'll say Štěpánka's brother. He did the graphic designing of this beautiful pattern, and that was my guess.
Yeah, that's Andre for sure. Right, Štěpánka. Anyway, enough of our Czech lesson. Yes.
So if you have downloaded the pattern from Ravelry, the single pattern, that is Štěpánka's brother's fine handiwork and doing great. Yes, we killed it. Yay! That is Andre's great work. So thank you, Andre. Štěpánka, I hope you paid him in one beer.
Yeah, like a Czech Pilsner.
That's a family payment for something. Yes, 1 crisp pills.
There you are.
Which I'm sure he appreciated. And we appreciate it too because It came in just under the wire. We all were then able to not have to buy an entire magazine, but we could just give Štěpánka directly our $7 American, which is approximately 37 crowns.
Sure. Again, now I see where it comes in, where you're not a mathematician. Now I'm understanding where that might not be the case. However, definitely not a conversion, a money converter. That's for sure.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
I feel like that is impossible.
But so let's send many crowns directly Štěpánka's way. So if you have been thinking about this, if you don't know that you've got enough time, it doesn't matter. You can grab the pattern now and
grab
support
the pattern.
Štěpánka directly,
Support Štěpánka,
which we love.
Plus, then you're gonna look at the pattern, and you're gonna
Look
see
at it.
everybody's sock pictures start to pop up, and you're gonna be like, "Holy shit, I gotta cast on."
Well, that is actually a wonderful segue, Allison, because we got a question in the chat about whether we should swatch for this project or not. So I've noticed that you are holding a swatch there in your hands. Can you tell us perhaps the motivation around why you swatched this way?
I literally had one motivation for swatching like this, and that was for promotion purposes,
Yes.
so that people could see these colors together, since this was the Gnome Depot Fibers Allison colorway combo,
Which is so good.
and I wanted a different visual to sell the knit along to people. Those are the only reasons that I swatched this. Do I care about swatching a sock? 100,000%. No.
Yes. If it were not for
Briza.
business reasons, check out the back of this swatch. If it were not for business reasons, all that to say, your first sock will be your swatch. That's normally how we treat things around here. As most accessory projects in general, your accessory is your swatch 2 for 1. Now you'll notice though that Allison, this is the back side of the lovely swatch, and that Allison's swatch has that caterpillar effect on the sides, which means that she swatched in the round.
Like a fucking boss.
So if you are perhaps struggling with the idea of using a US 1 for this, or you're using mystery yarn from your stash or whatever, and you would prefer to swatch, definitely
We're not going to
swatch
tell
in
you
the
not
round.
to, or we are not going to shame you for being a swatcher.
Yeah, that's no swatch shame, but
No.
if you are going to swatch, make sure it is swatching in the round. Don't swatch flat. That will not give you information that you need for this project.
No, that will just make you sad.
Yes.
Because no one wants to do that.
Right.
One, not at all. Štěpánka asked, did I catch the floats? Girl, I did not catch a float. 5 stitches. Girl, I don't catch anything more than 6.
So yeah, five for me is my limit, even with DK.
Especially
So
in fingering work.
yeah, so
Not a
I'm
catcher.
feeling pretty
Not a catcher.
pretty okay with not catching.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of borderline on the 5, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. I wore my particularly sticky jewelry here. Let's see. I mean, my toenails can get pretty gnarly, but they're not going to be this gnarly, and this isn't a problem for me. So I'm going to stick with not thinking.
Talk to your own God about that too, if that is something that is within your practice.
And to your own podiatrist. So
Yes.
if you have snaggy toenails, perhaps then you'll want to catch your floats.
Oh, Štěpánka's given us I thought Štěpánka was about to give us a little bit of a
Listen, no corrections from Štěpánka on that. She just
says not catching is much better. I was thinking with the garter stitch in here too would be a little funky to have to try to catch a float with garter stitch. That'd be pain, even more of a pain.
And I assume Štěpánka is saying much better because it is much more pleasant experience to knit. So I agree with that. And we're going with that. So
all right, Katie Hackshed asks, wondering if I should do a twisted German cast on. Ooh, I like that. Want something a bit stretchy and worried that the long tail may not have enough give. Thoughts?
Well,
Laura, you literally cast on. What did you use?
I used the German twisted cast on, Katie,
Oh,
but
shit.
those of you who have taken class with me know that that is my go-to cast on. period. It's just my prefer because I do not, for me personally, the long tail does not have enough stretch. I have quite a pronounced heel. And so it can be pretty tough to get my foot in and out.
Yeah, you want a stretchy baby getting over that big ass heel.
Yes, I have another sock I'm test knitting here, and I use the German twisted cast on for the cuff, and you can see like it's very, it gives me, it looks nice with the ribbing, but I know so much about my feet. Anya really, wiki feet to come, everyone. But this, you can see, really stretches, but then when it snaps back, it still looks like in line with the ribbing and isn't like fluted and weird. So I'm a big fan of German twisted cast on. Andrea, I don't know where, probably Andre, but Andrea Mallory has a really good tutorial for this on YouTube, so you can look that up if you are not aware of what we're talking about.
Yeah, we just talk about our feet all the time in sock knitting world. Katie Hackshad has size 10 feet. Us too, girl.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Twinsies. Triplies.
Yes. And there is something to be said for if you are newish to stranded color work, or you've been practicing your stranded color work. One thing that we've been talking a lot about in what we talked about in Leland on Knit Along, and that I've been talking about in my Galloway class, is when you start knitting stranded color work in a smaller circumference, that can tend to tighten up your gauge quite a bit. So be aware that you may want to bump up a needle size if you know like that you already tend to tighten up your gauge in smaller circumference. I see
these
I with my
giant needles. Yes. Thank you so much for noticing. These are
such a difference. This is the one. This is a 1. These are the
baby.
Massive 1.5.
1.5.
Huge difference.
So here's what I do. I do not use a size 1 needle. It can fuck off. I don't even own one. Get out of here. If I have to use a size 1, I'm doing something else. 1.5 is my limit. That is my personal limit for myself. And so then I always just make the smallest size sock, even for my giant feet. And it usually works out. Now, again, that is might be a little alarming for some of you to hear from the queen of sweater knitting, from the queen of the gauge. But when it comes to accessories, and I put socks in the accessory class, it's really not a sweater.
Yeah, there's some wiggle room. And as long as you go into your first sock, and again, we'll talk about knitting 2 at a time in a second, but as long as you go into that first swatch with the mentality that you may need to rip back, just try it, try it. This is there. I'm sure. I just have a feeling, like my senses are telling me that somebody is going to attempt to do this knitting these 2 at a time. I think that's a huge pain in the ass because you'll have 4 different balls of color going, and it's just not going to be like an on-the-go project. So I think 2 is enough to manage for one sock. Yeah. But if you do, if that is what your heart tells you to do, I love and support it. But in general, I just say let's choose my limit. Let's work on this one.
2
balls
one at a time is all I can handle. Yeah,
it's too many balls to juggle. In general, I know that both Allison and I will be going 1 at a time.
Yes.
I was like, ooh, I'm just making a bold statement. And I haven't actually asked Allison that.
2 balls. I'm
like, actually, no, I'm going for 2.
Actually, I know. No, absolutely not. God, no. I mean, let's be real. I'm going to knit one of these socks like real quick, and then I'm probably not going to knit a second one for a while.
Well, it's so funny you say that because today is being March 1st is another week or another month of Whip It Out Challenge, where you list works in progress, and then Karen and Maya draw numbers, and that's a project you need to pay attention to. And I have 4 single socks sitting around in a project bag, and one of my single socks came up. So I'm like, honestly,
you already have a second sock to knit this.
Yes. So I kind of feel like I can do this, and then I'll break it up by knitting that second
and then
sock.
You'll get to your first sock.
Right? And then next year when we do
well, I'm just kind of getting on that bandwagon that everyone's getting on, where they're already planning their sleeve temper projects.
Right. So there you go.
But we'll see. Maybe I'll love this so much I will just keep going.
Right?
Yeah.
Breaking news from Grace. Grace is thinking of flipping hers and knitting them toe up from the flow up, which is wild and crazy. Wild and crazy. Curious then, Grace, what bind off you would use for your ribbing, just out of curiosity. Like, what's a really stretchy bind off that you like for the ribbing? Just out of curiosity.
I love that. I do prefer a toe-up sock if I get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to play with the team and do these normally.
I'm telling you, I'm a
player.
convert to the top down. That's a new thing for me. I'm enjoying it, but then I only finished one, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem.
Half elastic, half Jenny's super stretchy. I usually do half in pattern, half
super stretchy.
Super stretchy.
Same. That's usually my goal, because otherwise
super stretchy is too stretchy, and you can't do it stretchy enough without it being super stretchy. So
yes.
Half super stretchy.
The more you know. These are very official techniques.
Normal.
Yeah, very official. But yeah, I just generally call it the halvesies.
Go halvesies on it.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Perfect.
So curious, for those of you who are planning on casting on, I just would love to hear in the chat which colorways you're going with. If you did not get in on the Gnome Depot Fiber order, I'm sorry for you. That breaks my heart. I'm doing the original. Allison is doing the Allison. But as you'll notice, like hanging here behind me is all kinds of sock yarn. And I could use whatever I wanted from that or several other bins full of sock yarn. So I would be very curious to know if you're not using Gnome Depot. Oh, Jules doing the grays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What colorways you're doing? And we will, of course, be seeing this, won't we, Allison, when people post to the party constantly. I want to see their updates.
They better. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing?
Breaking news. Grace has a few remaining kits. So if you're watching this and you're like, you know what? I don't have to swatch after all. You know what? I want to get in on this and I really want to get my hands on it in Allison or a Grace or the OG. It sounds like Grace is going to have a few extra kits to post tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that.
So Sarah asked a question. If you wanted to toe up, do you just read the charts upside down? I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
It's the same.
Yes. Oh, that seems to be what Grace is saying that she's going to do. So let's all, yeah, no, it would be like noticing the orientation of the stockinette. And I don't think anyone's going to be that close into your foot. Yeah. What you do in your personal life is, I think, private.
Technically, but the answer is yes, of course. But I don't think in this case it matters at all.
Yeah. So you could just read it.
Yeah. You read that, and I'll talk.
Okay, great. So Katie has put quite a lot of thoughts into the chat here.
Yeah, so you're gonna read that. All right. So I see a lot of people coming up with and showing which colorways they got. So it's super exciting. Again, we want to see progress shots taken. As soon as you get to the chart, I feel like this is going to be super addicting because that's the point of charts, is that you just want to keep printing off. I'm pretty sure I did not even breathe while I was making this. I loved it so much. I remember back in the day, Štěpánka was telling us about this design, and she apologized profusely for making you do garter stitch in color work. So you will be purling through some of these, and you can really see that texture come through on my gray. So you'll notice all of my contrasting color is all stockinette, so only knitting, and there's dimensionality to the main color with that garter stitch. It took me maybe 3 or 4 rows to get into the swing of that, because you do automatically think like knit. So it was a little bit, it took me a couple rows to kind of get in the swing of it, but once I did, it didn't bother me at all, and it became really second nature.
It looks super great on camera too. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, look at that dimension.
I know the dimension, even on the camera.
Yeah,
It looks really good.
So that's really cool.
Laura, what did Katie have to say?
Basically, I needed to not have a total blank face for 5 minutes. So I just skimmed. And I think it was a creative solution about using waste yarn to avoid one sock syndrome, which is cool. Yeah, I think in theory, what Katie's putting down, we can pick up for sure. But I don't really know. Too much going on.
Katie's like, you guys are jerks.
Yeah.
She would never.
Too much going on. But I would say, you can always take a private class with Grace, and she can explain to you her process, and really break it down for you all. So you can always sign up for one-on-one time with her on gnomedepot.com.
Absolutely.
So that's how I'm solving that problem. Yes. So it's really cool to see everyone pretty much kind of hopped in on the Gnome Depot order, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that we all have single skeins of stock yarn kicking around out there. So I'm just pretty sure people are going to get into this, and we're going to see a lot of fun. Really,
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. Perfect. It's going to be really cool. And that's one of the things that is kind of fun about doing the sock from the cuff down is you get to do all of that color work all the way around the cuff, which is really fun. And I do like knitting it in that direction because then you can get really into the chart. And then when you get to the foot, you're like, oh, well, maybe I'm kind of glad to only have to do this on half the foot now, right? Whereas the other way you do it, you're like, it's kind of like a start and stop, like you're real into it, and then you're like, I want to do the whole thing. So it is like more of a natural, gradual reward system, I think, with the cuff down. And then you do really get the good picture for the party when you have the whole cuff in the color work. So
this is going to be the most tedious part, I can tell already, just getting through this ribbing.
How much ribbing is it, Laura?
Good question. I can tell you. I'd have to look at my phone. I think it's 2 inches. Štěpánka,
2 inches? Jesus.
Well, I don't know. Wait, maybe it's 1.5 inches. Let's go to the board. I won't. I don't want to slander Štěpánka unnecessarily.
1.5.
1.5. Hey.
Good. Thanks, Katie. 1.5.
So 1.5.
That will be the worst part of it.
Yeah. So this much.
Yeah.
But
too much.
But then on to glory. So yeah. I really just read to how many stitches to cast on. I'm doing the second size. And I just went on my merry way
and did it.
So you are doing the first size because you're using.
I'm using 1.5, and I did when I counted this gauge swatch because once I made it for advertisement purposes, I thought, well, maybe I should measure it. And I was getting about 8 stitches to the inch and not the 9 stitches to the inch that Štěpánka required for the pattern. That is from memory though, so please double check that. Do not just take what came out of my mouth as actual fact. That was only my memory from when I looked at this 6 weeks ago.
We're bringing you reality. It's a true kickoff. It's not one of those. This is not the Food Network where we're like, and I've had one fact before, and then we have like half a sock neck. No, we're kicking off today with the rest of you.
Doing it.
So
So it made sense to me that I had one more stitch because I did go up a needle size. So to correct for that, and I do prefer my socks to be more tight than more loose. So if I was going to err on the side of any kind of way, it would be to have them be very tight.
Got it.
So
you like a little negative ease.
I like a little negative ease. That is going to be how this is going to happen. So that is why I'm doing the smallest size. Twofold.
I love the logic. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love the logic.
Thank you.
So.
I think it's sound. We'll see.
It is. I know that my having made colorwork mittens on size 2s and 1s, I know that my stranded colorwork tends to tighten in a smaller circumference. So I'm thinking I'm also going to use a 1.5 because that's what I have in this little tiny needle. And I'm going to just see how it goes. I'm going to do the beginning of the chart and then see what my gauge is. And then if I need to rip back, hey, I'll rip back and replace it with 1s. But I think it'll be tight enough that it'll work out just fine. That's my thought.
Laura, I have a follow-up.
Yes.
An important follow-up. So last night, if you were with us at Knit along midnight, yoke along, I was really, really proud of the fact that we started organizing all of our recordings. And then a couple people said that they had trouble watching some of the Level Up series because they weren't just automatically playing for them. And I fixed that.
Hey,
so that is fixed now.
Awesome.
And I know what to look for in the settings to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So when you are looking for this recording to relive this magic, it will be posted under recordings under the Briza Socks Knit Along. All right. And I already put up our sock color reveal video in there too, because I think that counts.
I love getting more organized, and yeah,
Yes.
we're all learning. We're all on journeys here in the Mighty Network, and I still believe that we are going to get the technology to go live from more than one location, but that day is not today. So what we can say, the upgrade that we've provided you is all the recordings in one spot. So that's going to be
I love that. I wonder, I just want to, I can't. If I go to participants.
Mm-hmm. Oh, plus sign. What's the plus sign?
Why is only Amanda available?
Interesting. Well, I bet everybody else is on their phone. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hey, we've been flagging. There might be a revelation.
I was gonna do this and see. Nope. But yeah, there's a plus right there.
So maybe when you get home, we should just do an impromptu test live. Just to see. I'm curious now.
Okay, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. All right, Sarah says she's on a computer. So what if I do a plus and I look for Sarah? Oh yeah, she can. All right, so I think we can add a speaker as long as they're not on their mobile app.
Yeah. So revelation.
Okay, this is progress.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry. Yes. Then sorry, Mighty Network, maybe, but we'll see. But this.
I was thinking it would be here because that's where it was on Instagram.
Right. Anyway, we'll be doing more of these lives.
Yep, Amanda, we saw you are available to do. Sweet. Yeah, that's why it popped up. Because when it first over, the only people we could invite, everyone was shaded except for you, Amanda, and Amanda must be on a computer. Yes. So that's why. So it can't lock. So we have to just remember that. Yeah,
that'll be fine.
If I was on the go.
So that will help us increase the frequency of our lives, which has been our whole plan. Because frankly, this is how a lot of you met us for the first time, and we want to get back to it. But Instagram has really emphasized lives and emphasized reels and short form video content, and we want to just bring directly to the source. So we're excited to go live more often with each other. Yes. And
we're gonna have programming. We need a name for our program.
Okay, I'll workshop it. I mean,
she's the one I always ask. Yeah, on everything.
Yeah. Lively, I don't know. We'll come up with it.
I love it.
But it is, I'm looking forward to it. I miss going live, but I
so much content.
Yes, I do like being live and like chit chatting, but it's so much better when there's someone to have an actual conversation with, I think. So
it is. It's much harder to do it by yourself.
The time feels a lot longer. Speaking of which, because we're at 28, I don't know how that happened, but when I am live by myself, by the time I'm at 28, I feel like I have hiked through a desert. I'm thirsty. I'm tired. I'm sweaty.
Yeah. Well,
yes, welcome to my guest carafe. I've been investing in items for my homes that are kind of nonsense, but I have a guest carafe that just sits by the nightstand because people like water at night, I guess. I didn't know this, but now I have a guest carafe, and a second bedroom that is clean. So that's, I'm trying.
I was delighted
to make the McDougal Airbnb happen. So very
I was
priced
delighted
to buy me breakfast.
By my tiny carafe.
Yeah, it's really what you need.
Do I have to buy you breakfast for
this? Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's steep water. This is Europe.
So I'll see you at Handlebar.
We have to drive me. So I guess that works out.
Great.
There was a new breakfast place that opened in that place that was that shitty. Ooh, this is going off the rails. Montrose and Western.
Oh, yes, it's all
ham
painted
on the
white.
bone. Yes.
It's all painted
The
white.
ham on the bone
I was very
place.
excited about it, although I liked the shitty restaurant that was there too. That was like 100% just rat food, but I loved it.
I think went in and they were like, this will only take 3 weeks to clean. And then 7 months later, they were ready to open.
So I was excited, but then I saw that it was the word ham was like the first word in the, it was Jimmy's, Grace. It was, and now it's, I don't know.
I know, it was just the place that always said ham on the bone.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was Jimmy's. And I freaking loved it, but it was just, disgusting. I like Waffle House energy,
now
but Chicago.
It is white. It is like, it's just painted to within an
But
inch.
you know that years of
sunglasses when
nicotine
you
and
walk in
grease
there.
are just going to seep through.
Yes, it was amazing.
You can't find the moonlight on that place. It's deeply, deeply haunted.
See, this is why we need the show. So we tell people about Ham on the Bone Place.
Yeah. Formerly. But yeah, I'll give it a shot, but I just know it's not.
Alexander's, Jewel. Yes, that's what it's called now. Alexander's. That's real.
So I'm going to be checking that out. They've also, if Sarah B is watching, formerly, whatever, Yolk, that was formerly, whatever, is now, that was 88 Eggs, is now Andersonville Breakfast House. And
this isn't a name. This is Anderson.
Right. And they took all the orange and made it green, which is much more aesthetically pleasing. And they dealt with the mildew smell. So I think I'm back on board. Thanks for coming to Breakfast Reviews.
Breakfast Place Reviews with it. Well, ever since COVID hit, there is nowhere to eat breakfast. No. If you want to eat literally before 5 p.m. on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday within 3 miles of our house, it is impossible. You will die. And sometimes on Thursdays. Yes.
I have died. I have
scraped off Damon Avenue.
I used to walk back from our co-working place, and I would always hit at 2 o'clock, and I would not have eaten lunch, and I would just be like, I am starving. I will faint dead away, and they'd be like, great, I'll go to this restaurant, closed. I'll go to this restaurant, closed. You cannot. It's impossible in the city of Chicago to eat lunch at 2 p.m. You just can't do it.
No.
So
unless it's a Friday.
It's and even that, and
do
then
it's a better job if you needed a beer to help you. Exactly,
which doesn't, in fact.
No,
so
it makes it worse.
Anyway,
I've tried that before.
Yeah, Linda, it was gag. It was just overpowering, and it was just you don't smell that? You don't smell that? People that work here, they're just aggressively like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. Anyway.
Do you see how orange it is?
Right. Just look at the orange. But now it's green and it's better. I would say it's better.
Okay. Well, let's go to Alexander's next week, and then we can give everyone former ham on the bone reviews.
But yes, people like to come to Chicago and ask us where they should go and what they should do.
And we're like the old grandmas who've lived in Chicago for 72 years. We're like, well, back in 78, there was a great place that said ham on the bone.
Exactly.
But that closed in 87. I don't know what's there now.
It is as if we've just moved here and it's been 20 years. So, but that's the city cycle has just been ramped up even faster. So now everything's a mall, and I don't know what's going on. So, I mean, truly. So
stop wanting food and just drink beer.
Just drink beer
that
too.
We can help you with.
Grandma.
100%. Yeah.
Whatever.
Sorry. Sandwich? I don't think so.
You're you have these visions of what it's going to be like to be self-employed, and it's I have my own schedule. I keep my own hours, so then I'll just eat a later lunch, and then I'll have a later dinner. So 2 p.m. and they're just no one wants lunch at 2. And you're
better to eat dinner at 4.
I guess. Yeah. But then I can't wait those other 2 hours. You have to be scraped off of David.
That's when you get a beer.
These are the important topics that we'll be bringing you with more of our live content. But for now, so excited to see. So we've only had 4 people drop off. So that's pretty good.
That's how we get people to give us money too, Laura. I will never understand.
And since I know many of you were wondering from last night, is my plumbing address. Why the hair looks like this. I still cannot bathe in my home. So I gotta go work on that.
Luigi's on it.
Yeah, I gotta go work on that. But please post early and often. Use the hashtag BrizaKAL, and keep us posted here in the party and on Instagram with what you're up to. We are so excited that this day is finally here. Štěpánka, I have been so looking forward to this. I am heading on vacation in a couple of days, and this is going to be my vacation project. So I can't wait to take some lovely photos on the beach with my Briza socks.
Yes.
It's going to be lovely.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect for wool socks.
Yes. That's what I always say.
Yep.
So,
yep.
All right. Well, thank you all. This was a blast and a half. And we will see you very soon.
Yep. Happy knitting, everybody.
Bye. Are we doing the copy thing?
No.
Okay.
I have to stop doing that.
Okay, great. Bye.